Yo, one life family, how everybody doing? I hope everybody's having a good night, man. We finna get into some things. We're gonna talk about this stuff, man, with Carmelo Anthony, ladies and gentlemen. I want y'all to join me in the comments below and let me know what y'all think about this whole Carmelo Anthony situation, this whole ordeal that's going on, and that we are um basically that we going through. What's going on? You know what I'm saying? We got three people in the chat, man. Y'all come on in. I know I popped out a little late and it was last minute, man. But it's like I be over there on my other platform and I've been talking about this stuff from the beginning. You feel me? I haven't had a chance to really come on YouTube and talk about it. So that's why I'm popping out tonight on YouTube, man, because I really want us to get into um the facts of what's going on, man. It ain't because see, it's a lot that's going on behind the scene, even as far as with them, they mad because Carmelo Anthony's family went and got the because the family went and got the house and all that stuff there, you feel me? They mad about that. I don't want this up here. But yeah, so anyway, so they mad about that and going through all that real rap, right? They done leaked the judge stuff, and I was on the platform and I was explaining to the people how Judge Angela Tucker, okay, this lady had a job to go in here and do, and people took that and tried to make it a racist situation. And although I'm gonna tell you the truth, although this is racial, see, people got to understand that everything ain't racist. This is racially motivated. You feel me? Because of the simple fact that had it been a white boy that sat up under that tent, Austin and Hunter wouldn't have said one word. So my whole thing is this. Let's be for real. I'm so sick and tired. And you know what? Ain't no filter. Because when I come over here, baby, we get to do it. We get to go and get into it. Now, I'm trying to see something, cause something ain't right. Why is this moving like that? But anyway, the whole point, what I'm getting at is we got to start from the beginning about this whole ordeal, man. And I tried to explain to people over and over again when we came into the situation that this was not a school event. I tried to explain to people what was really going on with this whole ordeal, okay? And when you take time and look at it for what it is, I understand that folks is hurt. If someone lost their life, a brother end up in jail. I get all of that. But laws are put in place for a reason. Okay. And see, when you start to put these laws in effect and things start to happen and people start to fall out and get into it, you feel me? You abide by what you know to be the law. Now, some states have this stand your ground, justification of the fact, when you don't have to retreat. And with this whole situation, this is what it boiled down to. This wasn't a this wasn't something that Carmelo got up this day and said, I'm finna go and start a problem with these people. This was a situation to where Carmelo said, hey, I'm finna go to this track meet like I always do. It was bad weather out this day, and the brother had a seat under a tent. Okay, a tent don't have more rights than a human being. Okay, what's going on, Miss Sohai? Don't have more rights than a human being. If I sit down under a tent, okay, and you say to me, hey, you need to move off from under my tent. I mean, just think about that. I need to move off from under your tent. Man, you don't get the hell out my goddamn face. You, listen, fuck you and this goddamn tent. We finna, you know what I'm saying? But then what people don't understand is the law of stand your ground. So if I stand my ground, that means exactly what it says. Stand your ground. You cannot put your hands on nobody because they don't do what you tell them to do. You feel me? That's illegal. Now I want to break something down for y'all. When Austin McCalf put his hands on Carmelo Anthony and moved Carmelo or tried to move Carmelo, that is a form of not only assault but kidnapping. If you move a person from their destination to another destination forcibly, that is kidnapping. Okay? That's what it is. You don't, that's why they say you don't take the law into your own hands and you don't put your hands on nobody. Okay. So there was a problem that escalated way before this person got healed. Okay. Now I want y'all to understand, and going back to what I was explaining to y'all about this not being a school event. This is the UIL event, which I've tried to explain to people like for the longest, because y'all know I be doing my research and I try to really bring it to y'all so y'all be up on game. This was a UIL event, okay? Now the UIL is Universal Interscholastic League, okay? They work with athletes. Karmelo Anthony is a D1 athlete in high school. He's a D1 athlete, okay? He's getting ready to go into college. He's not sitting here talking about, oh, I'm finna throw away everything that I've worked so hard for over this motherfucking idiot, Austin McCaffrey. That's not what he's sitting around doing. All his, all, when I say all his life, I'm saying all his life he done had to overcome. And what I mean by that is getting out there practicing, getting up and running that extra mile, putting in that extra work at the gym, putting in that extra. You feel me? He done this his whole life so that he could get to the point to where he could go and become something great with his life. We all run into a little mischief. You feel me? But that don't determine or dictate the person that you will become. A lot of people become great individuals because of the things they experience growing up. A lot of people become great attorneys. A lot of people become great judges, great athletes, great people because of the things they experience growing up. It don't dictate who you are. So Carmelo did not go to his track meet and say, I'm finna throw away everything my family has invested in me and that I've invested in me behind some BS. But you're not going to continue to bully this man. You're not going to continue to put your hands on him. You're not going to continue to make him feel like he. So, how dare a motherfucker say he sits somewhere he's not allowed? Allowed would have got your ass slapped talking to me. Cause I don't I'm trying to figure out in my mind where anybody would sit there and try to tell me where I am and am not allowed. So it breaks down quite simple when you're looking at it from a legal perspective. You see, hold on. When you look at it from a legal perspective, when you look at it from a legal perspective, and so it's not that, and again, all you got to do is pay attention to the case. Look at what's going on. Because look, when you check it out like this right here, right? He's not charged with having a weapon. He's not charged with having it on school grounds or anything like that. He's charged with one count of unaliving. That's it. You feel it? They ain't charged him with having no weapon nowhere he wasn't supposed to have no weapon. You know what I'm saying? And even furthermore, I'm gonna tell y'all some more stuff, shall I? Of course, I'm gonna be very careful how I say stuff, shall but I'm not even positive that Karmelo is the one that produced this weapon, shall you feel me? If you listen to the testimony from Hunter, which is Austin's brother, he don't even say that Karmelo had a weapon. He said he don't. He basically, I'm talking about the first interview. He basically said he don't know where it came from. But if he going in his bag, that doesn't make sense. You don't know if you telling me that this black brother, this black boy going in his bag, right? He going in his bag and you steady fucking with them, that don't make sense to me. If I'm fucking with somebody and they start going in their bag, the first thing I'm thinking is gun. You feel me? Fuck with me. If I go in my bag, I'm going for a gun. And that's okay. I don't even got no knife in my bag. So I'm so if a person right now, I do something to a dude, I push up on him, and he start going in his bag, I'm not finna grab his bag. I'm not finna touch him. I'm finna, I'm finna get the hell back. Unless we finna go there. You see what I'm saying? So you put you put your hands on it, bro. A weapon comes out. Now, it irks and jerks me when people say, "Oh, he confessed he confessed." The first thing that Karmelo said to the police is, I was protecting myself. That's the first thing he said to the police. I was protecting myself. Good move, Karmelo. This ain't no dummy. You don't become a D1 athlete with a 3.7 grade point average, getting ready to go into college. You did that. Being no dummy. Okay? So look. They say, look, I'm a they say, well, look. After that, he told him, it's not allegedly, I did it. Okay? Now I want y'all to understand something. For people that ain't up on the law, y'all know I know the law real good. That's what I do. In order for you to even claim self-defense, you gotta admit to doing the unalive. How the hell you gonna plead self-defense if you telling them you didn't do the killing? That's stupid. That makes no sense. So everything that people are trying to take and use against Karmelo and say he did this, he did that. True indeed, he did that. But he did that because according to the law, those are the things that you have to do. You have to tell the police you was protecting yourself. You have to tell them that you committed a crime. You have to tell them that you was goddamn. You have to show compassion. Everything that Karmelo did was by the book and by the law. The boy didn't break the law. Now, anytime you hurt somebody, whether you take their life or injure them in the process, you gonna go sit down. But if you pay attention to it, if you pay attention to it, he went and sat down for 2 weeks. He sat it down for 2 weeks. Then he came on home. All right. He see, I made a statement on my other platform, and people let it go over their head. It ain't, and see, that's why you got all these people mad now at the judge trying to make it, oh, like it's a racial thing or she woo woo. What this judge did was exactly what needed to be done. She heard the facts in the case. You feel me? She heard the facts in the case, and she agreed that first of all, this bond is too high. This is an excessive bond. Okay, it's too high, and it don't make sense. $1 million bond, man, that's something you give to. You know what I'm saying? That's just an excessive bond, and that is a violation of your constitutional right. Okay, which is why the family was saying his civil rights and stuff is being violated. They didn't read the man his rights. They got him in jail on an excessive bond amount. He didn't get to talk to his parents. I think the parents said they didn't get to talk to him for like a week. See, all of these are things that families go through when when a loved one gets incarcerated, gets put into the system. He said and now getting back to the point though. So families start going through these things, man. But at the end of the day, you know, legally speaking and breaking this thing down, man. See, the judge came in and she said she was gonna have an ex parte meeting with him. She had the ex parte. What going on, Miss Shree? She had the ex parte meeting. Okay. She had the ex parte. She talked to him. She heard what the witness said. She looked at case. All Judge Tucker did was lower the man bond to something reasonable. Now, you got people that are upset because she lowered this man bond. She lowered this man bond because again it was too excessive. But then when you start listening to the witnesses and looking at the facts of the case and the information that's coming out, it's more and more like y'all trying to paint Carmelo to be y'all trying to paint Carmelo to be what Austin and Hunter is. Some assholes. You feel me? Some motherfuckers that's running around messing with people, bullying people. Then you done had several kids come out and say that these boys be trying to bully and do all that. And now you got to the point where you fought with the wrong person. See, in life, you can do things and get away with it. You can go probably do a you can go in the store and steal and you will get away with it at time. And you might go to another store and steal and you might get away with it at time. But one day, your ass gonna steal from the wrong store. You see what I'm saying? And that's what happened with this situation. Y'all going around to my Hunter and Austin and whoever else y'all with playing, trying to bully this boy, putting your hands on people. Now legally, he man got every right to defend himself. And people say stuff like, well, again, he shouldn't have been at this place with a weapon. You can't tell nobody where to go with no weapon. That's why I call it a weapon. I can take that motherfucker wherever I want to. It's my weapon of choice. I he could come up with a baseball bat. You feel me? Knife, baseball bat, any of that. You can't put your hands on nobody. You don't know, like, I mean, let's just use common sense here. You don't know where nobody got on you. You feel? That's why you don't fuck with nobody. That's why you don't put your hands on nobody. That's why you don't try to steal from nobody. That's why you see what I'm saying? I don't it ain't my responsibility to tell the next person, oh, I got some fire on me. I got a weapon on me. You feel me? I'm not finna say one word. But if you put your hands on me, you gonna find out real quick what the fuck coming off one of these shirts. You see what I'm saying? That's the law. The law say I don't have to retreat. So I don't have to. All you got to do is be the aggressor. Be aggressive. I'm gonna tell y'all something. If you think about it with the law, when you walk up, you can say something to a person, right? And what you say to that person can be a more serious charge than what you did to that person. Perfect example. If I walk up to somebody and say, I'm gonna unalive you, that's a terroristic threat. No, matter of fact, let me use it like this. If I walk up to a person and say, I knock your ass out, that's a terroristic threat. Okay? That's a felony. Because I stated something to you that I was gonna do. I didn't even have to touch you. All I did was say I was gonna knock you out. Terroristic threat. Now, if I walk up to a person and actually knock their ass out, that's a misdemeanor. That's a little battery or assault or something like that. That thing. You feel it? But that's a little misdemeanor charge. You know what I'm saying? You hit somebody. But if you say it, so what I'm saying is the things that come out your mouth can be taken as more aggression. You feel me? Self-defense is a real defense. And that's the whole thing where people have to really understand. He wasn't doing nothing. His level of defense. You ever heard the saying, don't bring a knife to a gunfight? Y'all heard that saying, right? See, what going on? What going on, everybody? See, when you again, you don't know what the next person got on it. Austin looking at it, Austin Metcalf and Hunter Metcalf looking at it like, oh, I can whoop his ass. And I ain't even gonna lie to you. I believe Carmelo was whooping Hunter ass. That's why Shawty had to get involved, and that's why that knife came out, Shawty. Carmelo can throw them hands, Shawty. Look at that boy. That boy 6 feet, man. I think he like 6 feet, about 130 something, man. But you got to keep in mind, this boy here from Baton Rouge, man. That boy know how to throw them hands, Shawty. You feel? So I believe in the midst of this, he was whooping Shawty ass. But just because you hit a person, don't mean they gotta hit you back. You feel? Now guess what? This on everything I love. When Austin them put their hands on Carmelo, when they pushed him, hit him, anything in between. If Carmelo would have called the police, they would ass would have went to jail. Period. Okay. If he called the police and said these folks put their hands on me, they ass would have went to jail. Now the flip side of that is he didn't have to call the police. He can whoop their ass. He can stab them. He can shoot them. He can do anything he wants to once those hands was put on him. And I want to explain this too. For people that want to say he was provoking, that's not provoking. That's not provoking and it's not premeditated. If you sit right there, which is the place where they were at, let's start there again. The facility that they were at, there was no assigned seating. So you can sit wherever you want to sit. Just like they could put that tent up wherever they want to put their tent up, he can sit wherever he want to sit. Just because you put a tent up right here, don't mean, goddamn it, this is your motherfucking space. Cause you ain't intent you pick up and move that way, motherfucker. So you let's get that clear right now. He can sit wherever he want to sit, and he chose to sit under your motherfucking tent. Period. Your tent is in a public place. Your tent is in a public place, sir. If you want it for yourself, then you need to have your tent on what they call private property. This is public property. Okay? Now, furthermore, you can't tell him he can't have a weapon when there's not a no weapon policy in place. If that were the case, they would have had metal detectors. How you gonna tell somebody or try to enforce a no weapons law? That's just like if a parent was there. You mean to tell me it wasn't one parent there with a weapon on them? I'll wait. It wasn't one parent at the event that had a weapon on them. I bet you, if you tell me it wasn't one parent out there with a knife or a gun, you a fucking lie. So my whole point is, don't get caught up in he wasn't supposed to have the weapon there. Because if that's the case, then you got to charge everybody who was out there that day with a weapon. And it don't make sense because on top of that, you got resource officers out there with guns. You got resource officers out there walking around with guns. How you gonna tell his brother he can't have a knife? And these motherfuckers out here with guns. Come on, man. Shut the front door. So now you got to look at the trajectory and the situation for what it is. You got to look at it for what it is. So now you don't put your hands on bro, which is illegal, and he did what he had to do. Now moving right on along. I mean, that's just what it boils down to. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't even gonna lie. That's what it boils down to, self-defense. And people, especially from white folk, I ain't even racist and nothing like that. I'm just speaking how it is. White folk mad. And it pisses me off to see these black people that mad and come up with some I hate you motherfuckers. And then niggas be trying to make it seem like, oh, cause Judge Joe Brown said this and this and third. Listen, Charlie. Hell no. You can't put your hands on nobody. Period. And any judge can tell you that. Any judge can tell you that. You can't tell me. And I'm gonna tell you something else. I don't give a damn. You not trying to tell me what I told my goddamn gun, so you feel? Oh, man, I'm telling that motherfucker wherever I want to told it. Y'all got me fucked up, so I ain't. That's why I don't understand. I don't get it. And people like, he could have walked away. He could have, but he didn't have to according to the law. In some states, the law say you have to try to de-escalate the situation. Some states say you gotta retreat. Some states do say that. Texas ain't one of them. Hell, down in Florida, like, well, we got the same law. That's why I'm spitting at you. None of the states I live in had that. Nigga, that's why it's a life lesson to learn. Keep your hands to yourself. Then they got nerve to sit up there talking about he sitting up there. What's his name? The boy Hunter sitting up there with his mama. And every time he get caught in his damn lie, he go to crying and shit. But then when he first tell the story, he can't tell you where the weapon came from. That why did not get up there and say specifically that Karmelo pulled that knife out that bag. He didn't say it. You know why? Because he had that goddamn knife. For all I know, he stabbed that motherfucker. Well, Karmelo said he did. No, Karmelo said he did, but that is part of the self-defense claim. So I ain't gonna tell a man what he did and didn't do, goddamn it. He said he did. But he ain't say where the hell he got it from. He ain't say where he got that knife from. I'm gonna tell you that. But yeah. I need to make me something to eat. All right, one life. I just wanted to tap in with y'all, man. Y'all hit that like button if you ain't had a chance to. Rock with me, baby. I appreciate it. I love y'all.